Hi, my name is Ruben Reyes, and I am an immigration attorney, but I also help students get into college. I am going to be presenting the Scholarship Master Plan to those of you who are looking at the video. And basically this video is going to be about how to think about getting into college. If you're a junior or senior, this will have some great tips in terms of what you want to do to get yourself ready for college. And while you're in college, if you're currently a freshman or a sophomore and you're trying to figure out, man, how can I get some more free money, this would also be a good source for you to go ahead and check out and put some of the things that I've got into practice. This will be the first part, and basically the first part will be plan to succeed by planning. So first off, what is the master plan, the scholarship master plan? If you're a junior, you've got lots of time, not all the time in the world, but you do have more time than most to start looking at different college programs that are interesting to you, whether it's the medical field or archaeology or architecture. You've got the time to look at the colleges, look at different degree programs, look at the difference between an in-state and out-of-state tuition, look at what the cost of living is at the city that the university is located in. Things that you might want to consider, if it's going to be in Minnesota, then what is the gas bill going to be like, or the natural gas bill going to be like in the middle of the winter, so that you can expect to kind of have the money for those expenses when they come up. It's not going to be a complete surprise to you. So first off, how many hours a week are you willing to dedicate to finding the program that's right for you and looking for free scholarship opportunities that are present out there right now? All you've got to do is just kind of make yourself available to them. So think about that. How many hours a week? 5 hours, 10 hours a week? And think about it by the numbers. And what do I mean by that? Well, you can think of scholarships in terms of how many am I going to do, period. Am I going to do 4 scholarships? Am I going to do 10 scholarships? And that's my goal. Others might be, I'm just going to do 10 hours a week and get out as many scholarships as I possibly can within those 10 hours. Or you can say, look, I need to have $20,000 a year, and I'd like to not have to take out loans. And so how can I go about finding scholarships that will total $20,000. So maybe you're going to be looking at bigger numbers and doing more in-depth scholarship applications, which is fine. It's just as long as you know what it is you intend on doing before you get started, and you don't get frustrated when you realize either the money's not adding up or the time you think you need to put in isn't enough time. Go in there and be willing to be flexible, because this is going to be a through your educational process. You shouldn't stop applying for scholarships your senior year in college, in high school. You should apply for scholarships your freshman year, your sophomore year in college, your junior year in college, up into your senior year in college. There's nothing wrong with free money. Some things you're going to need: back in the day, you needed stamps and envelopes and pens and all kinds of things, and now pretty much you can do it all through the internet. Research the topic, research who's offering the scholarship, research what the scholarship's about, research what the foundation's about. Maybe you could research who is on the scholarship committee if they offer that kind of information, so you can have an edge on what kind of answer you're going to be providing. You can focus your application so that it is very much geared towards the kind of person you're looking for to give that kind of money. So do your homework and make sure that you are thoughtful when applying for scholarships. And again, that really does go back down to, what do I want to study? If you want to be in the medical field, it might not behoove you to apply for geology-based scholarships. Maybe it does. I'm not sure in your particular situation. Or if you're into astronomy and you want to apply for creative writing, maybe you want to be a astronomer, creative writer. I'm not sure, but your field of study and the scholarships that you're seeking should have a common interest. It doesn't make a lot of sense to apply for a lot of things that have a little in common, or that's going to require you to work really hard to get up to speed on the issue or on the topic that they're asking you to write about. So be very thoughtful in terms of how much time is it going to really take for me to learn about quantum physics, if this is a math scholarship, but really you're all about poetry. Just a hint right there. Again, where do you want to study? If you know that, then maybe the school itself has scholarships that they offer, tuition waivers, fellowships, programs, internships, externships. look at all these different ways that are both that I would consider in-house money. The university has that money, or the program you're applying to has that money. Try and get that money. Do what you can to apply for that money. If you know that's a program you're very interested in participating in, and that university is one that you're very interested in attending. So, do your homework there as well, because sometimes the best scholarship might be in-house, where they can give you, based on your grades and your community service, tuition waiver or in-state tuition versus out-of-state tuition. So instead of having to pay $20,000, you only have to pay $9,000 a year. These things can make a huge difference in terms of what, in the end, you're going to have to pay out of pocket. What can you afford? Can your family help you? And if they can't, then you need to be realistic about that. A lot of students think that they can just take out loans and take out debt, and a lot of times it doesn't work out that way. It's either more than what they expected in terms of expenses. They can't afford the rent, the food, the car, the cell phone, food, clothing. And then there's an emergency, and then they can't make it home, and so you've got to be really realistic in terms of how much money you're going to need to budget for you to have a successful first, second, third, fourth year in college. A lot of times students just think, I'll get by, but really, if you are not planning, then you are pretty much planning to fail. So be on top of that, because it's too easy to just hope for the best and then find out that hope isn't good enough. It's dollars and cents that you really need. And make a list of what you have to afford. Are you going to have a car with you? Are you going to have a big apartment? Are you going to have roommates? Are you going to be, living on a ramen diet for 4 years? These things are real considerations, so that you kind of have a fixed idea in terms of what it is you're going to have to do to get that degree. Expect to live a college student's life, which is feast and famine. If you get financial aid, great. If you don't, then it's even more imperative that you really do plan and put that money in, so that put those scholarships in, so that you have that money when you need it. Let's talk real quickly before we end this first segment. What kind of money is available? Well, for most people, if you're a citizen or a legal permanent resident, you can qualify for federal financial aid. And basically, depending on your own personal situation, your parents' situation, how old you are, I believe you can get up to $20,000 a year, some of which would be grants, some of which would be loans. And you don't want to have a really high loan to pay back at the end of your college term if you're going to be working in a field that doesn't really pay a salary that's going to make that payment easy. Social work, teaching. You want to keep those loans to a minimum. And so federal financial aid is great, but I see too many students who take out the maximum amount and live better than they probably should, but at the end are defaulting on these loans because the profession they've chosen isn't paying the money necessary for them to have a life as well as pay the loans, or they're not finding jobs in that particular profession. So you want to be very strategic about that. How much can I take out? How much should I take out? And if you're applying for scholarships, you shouldn't really be depending so much on that loan money. So that's something you should really think about. Now, okay, maybe I don't qualify for federal financial aid for whatever reason. Well, there's always there's always websites, FastWeb, just to name one out there. But you can go ahead and Google, scholarship money, free scholarship money, and try and figure out what sites you should log on to, you should sign up for, where they send you email alerts about new scholarships that are going to apply to you and your interests and your field of study and universities you want to go to. The more information you provide, the better they are at kind of funneling things your way that are more likely to be something that you can not just apply for, but have a good chance at winning. So think about that. Sign up, get these emails, and do what you've got to do. And apply early. Don't be the last person to send their application at the very last minute because you did it last minute. That's just going to be all evident in what you send in. Also, private companies, if you know of Coca-Cola, other international corporations, always have some kind of community service aspect to them. So call around and ask, is there anybody that you should talk to regarding scholarships, community service or some kind of a sponsorship where you do something with Coca-Cola and maybe an internship or an externship and they help you pay for college. All these things are totally doable if you put yourself out there. And also locally, is there anybody that you know locally that would be willing to help you out and give you some money? Whether it's the bakery you've gone to as a kid, or maybe it's a local designer because you want to learn how to design clothes, or you do design your own clothes, or the options and the potential is limitless. You just have to be willing to get out there and do it. This is the first part. I'll be submitting more videos. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section here at the YouTube video, and I will do the best I can to incorporate the answers to your questions on my next and following videos. I will be getting all their videos up in terms of Part 2 scholarships, how to write a personal essay, and how to attack the SAT, ACT essays. Well, thank you for your time, and hope you got something out of this.